Throughout history, the truth has often taken a backseat to convenient falsehoods, elaborate deceptions, and outright lies. These fabrications, whether born from malice, fear, or misguided good intentions, have shaped our world in profound and often unexpected ways. Today, we embark on a journey through time to explore the 10 most influential lies that have altered the course of human history. Before we delve into these monumental deceptions, it is crucial to understand that the impact of a lie is not always immediately apparent. Some falsehoods take years, even decades, to fully manifest their consequences. The lies we will examine have been selected based on their far-reaching effects on politics, society, science, and culture. They have started wars, toppled empires, and in some cases, inadvertently led to positive change. Our first stop on this tour of historical duplicity takes us back to ancient Rome, to a lie that quite literally changed the face of an empire. In the year 69 of the Common Era, a man named Otho spread a rumor that would alter the course of Roman history. Otho, a close friend of Emperor Nero, had ambitions for the throne. When Nero was overthrown, Otho saw his chance. He circulated a false claim that Galba, the new emperor, planned to adopt him as his heir. This lie created confusion and unrest, ultimately leading to Galba's assassination and Otho's brief reign as emperor. The consequences of this deception rippled through time. Otho's lie not only resulted in the death of an emperor, but also ushered in the Year of the Four Emperors, a period of civil war and instability that weakened the Roman Empire. This turbulent time set the stage for the rise of the Flavian dynasty, which would rule Rome for the next 27 years and significantly reshape Roman society and governance. Moving forward in time, we encounter a lie that would have profound implications for world religions. In the 8th century, a document emerged that would come to be known as the Donation of Constantine. This forged decree claimed that the Roman Emperor Constantine I had transferred authority over Rome and the western part of the Roman Empire to the Pope. The true author of this document remains unknown, but its impact was monumental. For centuries, the Catholic Church used the donation to justify its claims to temporal power, influencing the balance between church and state throughout Europe. This lie shaped medieval politics, fueled conflicts between popes and monarchs, and contributed to the power structure that would dominate European affairs for nearly 1,000 years. It wasn't until the 15th century that the document was conclusively proven to be a forgery by Lorenzo Valla, a Renaissance humanist. By then, however, the lie had already left an indelible mark on history, shaping the development of Western civilization and the role of the Church in European affairs. Our journey now takes us to the dawn of the Age of Exploration, where we encounter a lie that quite literally redrew the map of the world. In 1492, Christopher Columbus set sail with the belief, or at least the claim, that he could reach Asia by sailing west across the Atlantic. This wasn't just a miscalculation, it was a willful disregard of the known facts about the Earth's size, which had been accurately calculated by ancient Greek mathematicians. Columbus's lie, whether born of genuine belief or deliberate deception, led to the European discovery of the Americas. The consequences of this lie were immense and continue to shape our world today. It led to the Columbian Exchange, a massive transfer of plants, animals, culture, human populations, technology, and diseases between the old and new worlds. This exchange revolutionized diets, altered ecosystems, and tragically led to the decimation of indigenous populations in the Americas. The lie that the Earth was smaller than it actually is, and that Asia was just a short sail away, set in motion the age of colonialism, forever changing the geopolitical landscape of our planet. It led to the rise of European global empires, the transatlantic slave trade, and ultimately, the formation of new nations in the Americas. As we move into more recent history, we encounter a lie that sparked one of the most devastating conflicts in human history. In 1939, Nazi Germany fabricated a Polish attack on a German radio station as a pretext for invading Poland, thus igniting World War II. This staged incident, known as the Gleiwitz incident, was part of a larger Nazi propaganda campaign aimed at justifying aggression against Poland. On August 31, 1939, German operatives dressed in Polish uniforms seized the radio station, broadcast a short anti-German message in Polish, and left behind the body of a German prisoner dressed in a Polish uniform. The next day, Hitler used this fabricated attack to declare war on Poland, claiming it was an act of self-defense. This lie not only provided the spark for World War II, but also set a dangerous precedent for false flag operations as a justification for war. The consequences of this deception were catastrophic, leading to a conflict that would claim over 60 million lives, redraw national boundaries, and reshape the global balance of power for decades to come. In the aftermath of World War II, we encounter another lie that would have far-reaching consequences, this time in the realm of public health. In 1954, the tobacco industry issued the frank statement to cigarette smokers, a public relations masterstroke that would delay effective action against smoking for decades. This statement, published in hundreds of US newspapers, questioned the links between smoking and lung cancer, promised consumers that their cigarettes were safe, and pledged to cooperate with public health authorities. In reality, internal documents later revealed that tobacco companies were well aware of the health risks associated with smoking. This coordinated deception allowed the tobacco industry to continue profiting, while millions of people became addicted to their products and suffered the health consequences. The repercussions of this lie extended far beyond public health. It set a template for corporate deception that would be emulated by other industries, from fossil fuels to pharmaceuticals. The eventual exposure of this lie led to landmark legal settlements and a fundamental shift in how society views corporate responsibility and public health. Our next stop brings us to one of the most infamous political scandals in American history, a lie that would ultimately bring down a presidency. In 1972, 5 men were caught breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate office complex in Washington, D.C. What followed was a web of lies and cover-ups that reached all the way to President Richard Nixon. Nixon and his administration repeatedly denied any involvement in or knowledge of the break-in. However, as investigations progressed, it became clear that the president had not only known about the illegal activities, but had also attempted to use federal agencies to obstruct justice. The consequences of this lie were profound. It led to Nixon's resignation in 1974, the only time in US history that a president has resigned from office. The Watergate scandal eroded public trust in government institutions, ushering in an era of heightened skepticism towards political leaders. It also led to significant reforms in campaign finance and government ethics laws. The ripple effects of Watergate continue to influence American politics today, serving as a cautionary tale about the abuse of power and the importance of checks and balances in democratic systems. As we approach the end of the 20th century, we encounter a lie that had devastating consequences for public health in Africa. In 1983, Soviet intelligence services launched Operation Infection, a disinformation campaign that claimed AIDS was a biological weapon created by the United States military. This lie, initially published in an obscure Indian newspaper, was picked up and amplified by Soviet-aligned media outlets around the world. The consequences of this deception were severe and long-lasting. It fueled conspiracy theories and distrust in Western medicine, particularly in Africa, where the AIDS epidemic was most severe. This distrust led some African leaders, most notably South Africa's Thabo Mbeki, to delay or refuse effective HIV/AIDS treatments, resulting in hundreds of thousands of preventable deaths. The AIDS disinformation campaign also served as a blueprint for future state-sponsored disinformation efforts, showcasing the potential of using media manipulation to sow doubt and confusion on a global scale. Its effects continue to be felt today in the form of persistent conspiracy theories and vaccine hesitancy. Our penultimate lie brings us to the dawn of the 21st century and one of the most consequential military actions of recent times. In 2003, the United States and its allies invaded Iraq based on the claim that Saddam Hussein's regime possessed weapons of mass destruction and had links to Al-Qaeda. These assertions, made repeatedly by high-ranking officials in the Bush administration, were used to justify a preemptive war. However, after the invasion, No weapons of mass destruction were found, and the alleged links to Al-Qaeda proved to be unfounded. Subsequent investigations revealed that the intelligence used to justify the war had been cherry-picked and exaggerated. The consequences of this deception were immense. The Iraq War resulted in hundreds of thousands of civilian deaths, destabilized the Middle East, and contributed to the rise of new terrorist groups. It strained international alliances, eroded global trust in US leadership, and cost trillions of dollars. The repercussions of this lie continue to shape geopolitics and military strategy to this day. Our final entry brings us to the digital age, and a lie that has had far-reaching consequences for democracy worldwide. In 2016, during the US presidential election, a coordinated disinformation campaign spread false and misleading information across social media platforms. This campaign, later attributed to Russian state actors, aimed to sow discord, exacerbate social divisions, and influence the outcome of the election. The lie here was not a single false claim, but rather a web of deception that exploited the vulnerabilities of social media algorithms and human psychology. False news stories, manipulated images, and inflammatory content were strategically disseminated to target specific demographics and influence public opinion. The consequences of this digital deception have been profound and ongoing. It has eroded trust in traditional media, exacerbated political polarization, and undermined the integrity of democratic processes. The 2016 disinformation campaign served as a wake-up call about the potential for digital technologies to be weaponized against democratic societies. In response, social media companies have implemented new policies and technologies to combat disinformation. Governments have launched investigations and new regulations, and citizens have become more aware of the need for digital literacy. However, the challenge of online disinformation remains one of the most pressing issues of our time, with implications for elections, public health, and social cohesion worldwide. As we conclude our journey through these 10 monumental lies, it's clear that deception, when wielded on a grand scale, has the power to alter the course of history. From ancient Rome to the digital age, lies have started wars, toppled governments, endangered public health, and reshaped societies. Yet it's important to note that the exposure of these lies has often led to positive change. The Watergate scandal resulted in important governmental reforms. The tobacco industry's deception led to stronger public health measures. The Iraq War controversy has made the public more skeptical of claims used to justify military action. In our current era of instant communication and social media, the potential for lies to spread rapidly and influence millions has never been greater. At the same time, we have unprecedented access to information and fact-checking resources. The challenge for our society is to cultivate critical thinking, promote media literacy, and create systems that can quickly identify and counteract deliberate deception. As we move forward, let us remember that while lies may shape our world, it is the pursuit of truth that allows us to learn from our past and build a better future. In an age where the line between fact and fiction can often blur, our commitment to truth must remain unwavering. For it is only through honesty and transparency that we can hope to create a world shaped not by deception, but by our highest ideals and aspirations.